Miss Harte.
Splendid timing. It reports, sir. I found something kind of weird. All the suspects are well acquainted with one another. I recall that you mentioned that none of them were connected, so... What does connection have to do with them being Zodiacs? I don't get your meaning.
Well?
Have you discovered anything about their powers? Well, no, they haven't shown any signs of having any powers. Isn't it weird they all know each other, though? It's not related to the supernatural, therefore we shall have no part of it. But, I mean, them all being connected could be a huge point of evidence. Really? How so? Well, I mean, if one is a Zodiac, then doesn't it make it more likely that the others are also Zodiacs? And is one a Zodiac? That investigation is still pending. And for now, has nothing to do with us. Am I crazy? I mean, am I the only person who thinks this is weird? You don't seem to care in the slightest.
Miss Harte.
Do not misunderstand. Think of it this way. Assuming that the suspects all hold spirits of the Zodiac, then of course they would be affiliated. Our focus is on determining whether they hold those spirits, not on the details of their affiliation. Yes, sir. Good, now I have your first article assignment. As you must be aware, Founders Day is imminent. 5 days. And I am not looking forward to all the traffic. The biggest holiday of the year is a lot of fun, but not for people who need to drive anywhere. Miss Harte, as a supernatural tabloid, our reader base will be expecting an expose on Founders Day. Think of it as a concept and execute it tomorrow. Tomorrow? Hello, media deadlines. Yes, sir. It can be a brief, but make sure it is original. Citizens of Lunar City are quite tired of the same old overviews. Yes, sir. May fortune find you. Farewell, Miss Harte. It's original, exciting, accurate article by tomorrow. Right. Guess it's time for an all-nighter. Gotta record a bunch of sources, start research a bunch of sources, make some calls. Doesn't he have other writers for this? Oh well, job's a job. Since this article will be on Founders Day, maybe I should take a look at some weird Founders Days of the past. If nothing else, it does seem to attract some odd events. The only remaining question is, how sensational should I be? If I don't throw in a hook, no one will read it. But I don't want to completely neglect accuracy either. There has to be some kind of a midpoint. August 24th, 8:20 LE. Canton Silo on August 29th. Streets of Lunar City will come to life with prismatic lights, vibrant music, and masses of civilians dressed in a traditional quiche-on for the most widely celebrated holiday of the year, Founders Day. Founders Day, announced by the Executive Cabinet as a national holiday following the... Founders Day? Probably Civil War. Aims to remember the Lunar City's culture roots as the push from the Department of Culture. It serves as a day of legend for the founding of Lunar City, which reportedly started by 12 ancient men and women known as the Zodiacs. But all Founders Day is strictly in the past. Even in recent years, the holiday has attracted a myriad of unusual, inexplicable events that are credited to mythological origins. On Founders Day of 792 LE, a masked figure garbed in traditional lunar wear materialized on the rooftops of Canton Silo. Without the formality of a personal introduction, the figure proceeds to aid various causes throughout the day, such as abating fires, locating missing persons, and aiding charity work in the slums of Canton. Mesmerizing audiences with his powerful charisma and quiet charm, the figure was... We should be like clearly a Zodiac, or often should we be like clearly a Zodiac of old. Authority figures were less than enthusiastic. Obviously, the intentions is good, said Police Superintendent Jerry Hoyts, but we can't just have unlicensed civilians running around like they're seasoned experts. A lot of people can get hurt that way. True to their words, the Lunar Police Department dispatched orders to take the masked man in for questioning. After countless delays due to the hectic activity of Founders Day, they came up empty-handed. Within 24 hours from his first appearance, the mysterious man had disappeared without a trace. Investigations continued for months, but not a scrap of evidence was found. Personally, I find the man somewhat admirable, said Theodore Lewis, one of the notable 12 chairs of the Executive Cabinet as the government's Secretary of Health and Human Services. Someone needs to help the citizens. Yes, vigilantes can be concerning. The freedom fighters can easily cross the line of terrorism. Does that mean unlicensed civilians should just sit idly by and watch someone burn to death in their own house? After 28 years, the case is still without leads and has presumably been dropped. General public sentiment seems to consider the masked man as a vigilante, or at best, a well-wishing citizen. The prospect of a real Zodiac from the legends is not entertained by closed-minded authorities. They just don't know the truth. Okay. I finished it. Hitting the button. Hit the space. Why does it not work? Oh. Okay. What do I do now? Oh. Okay, that was weird. We have very little concrete evidence on the existence of real Zodiacs. For now, there is pleasant urban myth and nothing more. Historian Lisa Barry elaborated further on the city of historical documents. Most records were burned or destroyed during the Zodiac War. Oh, it was a war? It was a time of utter anarchy and chaos. You couldn't walk to a grocery store without possibly getting knifed or mugged. And that's if you were lucky enough to have your grocery store still standing. When asked about pre-war documentation, Barry's reply was frank. We can't say whether the records that specifically mention Zodiacs hold historical validity or whether they're simply popular literature from the time. Most of what we're able to extrapolate is cultural and societal aspects, how they ate, how they farmed, how they set up an executive cabinet of 12 secretaries, how they founded the original 4 cantons and later added on a 5th. All these facts are known, but there are no official records on supernatural beings. Witnesses claim they saw supernatural powers. That dude was strong. Like, I don't even think he's one of the top benchers at the gym. He lifted a car off of a kid. He vanished without trace to the point where the police can't find neither hair nor hide, said David Wren, owner of the Wren Hardware. What other explanation do you need? I was a little girl at the time, reminiscent of author Maggie Kelly. But I'll never forget what I saw. His hands were glowing like white fire. His eyes were on light beneath his mask. I've never seen human eyes like that. Never. Kelly is a prolific author of 14 novels, all of which are centered around Zodiac legends. She was rescued by the masked man when her residence caught fire due to a gas leak. Like Kelly, many citizens were swept up in the idea of the Zodiac's return. The sighting, as Founders Day of 792 LE would be called, spurned an unparalleled boom of entertainment and media revolving around the Zodiacs for nearly 2 decades. Referred to as the legend boom, the myths of old were regarded with new interest. Recently, trends have settled into a more diverse focus, though the Zodiacs had never gone forgotten. Citizens are encouraged to keep their eyes and ears open for any paranormal sights on the August 29th, as Founders Day has a historic history of attracting unusual events. There, that could cater to the supernatural audience more than enough, right? Time to turn this in and finally get some sleep. Oh, how long is this demo? I didn't think it would be this long. What time are we at? Way too long. Oh my god. Almost 2 hours. I gotta keep going. Oh man, I might miss some things about college, but all-nighters is not one of them. I wonder if there's been any feedback on the articles so far. And would you look at that? 322 comments and growing. Supernature traffic working its magic. Would you look at that? Supernature got an actual writer. Haha. Nice compliment. 12 alive. Not more of this hocus pocus shit. Do people actually fucking believe this shit? Charming. Repost this on 5 different pages. Your mother will die in a car crash. One of the ghosts of Zodiac possessed Sarah. She was pulled into the abyss. Remember Sarah. 99% people won't post this, will you? This is actually well written. Kudos to Supernature. Oh, nice. I got a free $100 gift card for Teller Online by signing up here. There's always one. For 20. Well, I think I could be a little proud of this. 4 years of student loans might finally be paying off. Ah, the boss. Hello?
Miss Harte.
Well done. Oh, thank you.
Ah.
The quality of your writing certainly speaks for itself, and your angle of approach has garnered quite some traffic. As expected, your articles are of considerable worth. Well, sir, writing is what you hired me for.
No.
Not really. Pardon?
Hmm?
Oh, nothing? That sounded strange. Sure didn't sound like nothing, sir. That would depend on your definition of nothing, would it not, Miss Hart? I'm pretty sure there's only one definition of nothing, and it's in the dictionary. Some definitions are known by society, not by the dictionary, Miss Hart. Among them is the truest definition of nothing, which is a secret. One that you ought to be happy not to know. As far as you are concerned, I said nothing. Very well. And now I'm wondering why Pathfinder really hired me. I mean, his interview was pretty shoddy. I feel like he'd already made up his mind to accept me before I even called. What if I'm being used? Working for Supernature is starting to get to me. I should just work. Work for this job that's putting a roof over my head and food on the table. Okay. Now that I've met all the suspects, it's time to consider my next steps. Founders Day brings up a pretty good opportunity. I could just invite them to one of the pageants, spend some time with them, do a little digging. Who should I focus on? Oh my god, I get to pick one. I liked Halt. I can't pick anyone else? Okay. Halt works for Telework and Glamour Delivery. Did we know that? Did they actually mention that? I don't know if he actually mentioned that. Well, it's probably in a file, right? It's in his file, I'm sure. But he'd probably throw a fit if I waited for him in his workplace. I don't really fancy more accusations of being a stalker or criminal. He seems close with Beckett. Maybe if I wait outside the diner, he'll drop by. The diner is like the hub world for everybody. Ooh, that's cool music. Tickets to the pageant? Check. Refreshing drink from Mutts and Marshalls? Check. Obligatory nervousness? Check, unfortunately. Right. Here goes nothing. Maybe it was a bad idea to wait around. Oh! Halt. This guy was like the most interesting of all the characters so far. Other than maybe the record store girl. No truck, no boxes. I wonder if he's off shift. Didn't expect to see you. Good morning.
Look.
It's not my business to poke around, but I wouldn't wait if I were you. Pardon? Wait for what? Your date. You're halfway through your drink and he hasn't shown. Probably got cold feet. Or in an accident. Either way. Oh. I'm not here for a date.
Huh.
Then what? Still taking pictures for Beckett? I came without the camera today, as you probably noticed. Actually, I have something to ask you. Here. Are you holding that ticket to me? Do you see anyone else? Why? Why not? It's free. Nothing comes for free. Well, okay, I guess that I paid for it, so technically, yeah, it's not free. Actually, Pathfinder paid for it, but we'll leave that part out. It's free for you? Why? Why invite me? I mean, isn't it normal for people to invite each other to the pageants? A symbol of unity, goodwill, nationalist pride? No. Give this to someone else. I've seen more pageants than I can remember. I kept holding that ticket towards him.
Good.
Come on. Come on. No, I'm not putting it away. Away. I already said no. Why would my answer change? Why the hell are you so persistent? You're the one who keeps refusing a free gift. Doesn't feel like a free gift. Feels like coercion. Exasperated, I flung the ticket at him. It awkwardly and very anticlimactically floated to the ground, ground as a forlorn stub of paper. Sat quietly on the pavement before Halt's shoes. Fine, don't accept it, but I'm leaving it here. Maybe a stranger will take it. Maybe it'll be wasted. Or maybe you can pick it up and enjoy the annual pageant for free. Well, either way, it's your choice.
Hey.
Guess I'll see you there. You're a weird one, kid. Why does he make that sound like a compliment? Oh, the days are just flying by now. Oh my god, they really are. 3 days and like nothing exciting happened. It's a pageant. Oh, it's like a play. Okay. That's really nice. I like this. Usually I only see pageants at small theaters, but thankfully Pathfinder is willing to reimburse a bigger expense. I wonder how much money Supernature makes. Now they probably get tons of advertising fees. Well, I guess I'll just take my seat and wait. Why do I feel like someone's watching me? Yeah. He's staring at me alright. Who the hell's that guy? But what is that tie? It's hideous. Man, I like the color, but not that outfit. Maybe he's staring at someone behind me? Oh, that'd make more sense. I've never seen this guy before. Is he mouthing something? He's not looking away. There has to be someone behind me, right? I don't see anyone. Wait. Where'd he go? Okay, Alison, calm down. Don't overthink things. This job is making you paranoid, that's all.
Hey.
Oh, Halt. You actually came.
Huh?
Surprised? No.
Eh.
You're a terrible liar, kid. Don't ever play poker. Aw, there goes my dreams of professional gamble. You've got a sharp wit. You'll go places in life. Just not casinos.
Yeah.
Well, then again, who knows? Never thought I'd be a glorified fetching dog that drives the truck, but look at me. So, I take it that you don't like package delivery?
Nah.
It's a job. I understand that feeling. A lot more than I like.
So?
These are the seats. These? Well, there's just two. This one and, well, yours, I guess. Maybe. I invited a few people. Oh, really?
Hiya.
Oh, these are all the other people that we couldn't pick, right?
Hey,
Oh, no, there's Beckett.
Miss Allison.
So it didn't matter who we picked, right? Everyone was coming along anyway. Maybe we get more exposition with the guys we picked. Oh, wow. That bad? No, it's great, really. And it literally couldn't get more convenient for me. Except if Marin came too. But I always knew that'd be a long shot. We should all sit down. Do you guys know where your seats are?
Yep.
They're all in this row, actually, right next to each other. Really? But our tickets should be in different batches.
Don't worry.
A friend took care of the matter. A friend? Marin, you met her already. Marin went through all the trouble of helping them sit together? That doesn't sound like her. Don't you just adore Father's Day? Founder's Day? Look at all the pretty quiche lawn. It's like art. I actually don't know how to pronounce that word, but that's how I'm saying it. I always wish I were good at art. You're good at singing, that's art. But I learned, and my dear granny, bless her soul, from that I have the artistic talent of a belligerent mongoose. You can compose, Jules, and sing.
No.
Neither of which have anything to do with the color or fine motor skills. Oh, but thanks for the vote of confidence, Switch.
You know,
The history behind quiche lawn is really interesting. They were first made of woven cloth until silk was discovered. But even though the rich could afford to make the silk, only government officials were allowed to wear silk in public. It was a status symbol. Shows that people will try to differentiate themselves with just about anything, right? Now, thanks to industrialization and civil rights, anyone can have silk.
Oh.
Someone's leaking is in our history teacher.
Well.
Except key aren't silk, not anymore. Silk's too heavy. People aren't used to that kind of weight on their clothes. Huh, then what are they made out of? Crepeline, chiffon, polyester, stuff like that.
Huh?
What is it?
Uncle.
She appears startled, Uncle.
Huh?
What for? How your thuggish appearance belies extensive knowledge on sewing. Thuggish might be a bit harsh. I guess I didn't expect you to be the type to like fabric. Well, nothing to do with liking fabric.
Had a job once.
You don't need to know.
So...
Walt knows everything. That's why we call him Gramps, or Dad, or Uncle. Well, I guess that makes more sense. Quichelan. I find it rather fascinating that certain terms have kept their astrally roots, even though it is now considered a dead language. Maybe because it refers to something traditional?
Perhaps.
Very possible. The literal translation of Quichelan is vestments of the moon. That's so pretty. Key were once made by the hands of select artisans. Many of them symbolize stories, culture, or family history by utilizing specific decorative elements. More than mere clothes, key are seen as a chronicle, an artifact, a memento. Does your key tell a story? Don't get him started.
Yes.
It certainly does. This has been handed down for generations. Great care has been taken to preserve the fabric. If you look closely, the brown embroidery reflects the sinuous beauty of fire. The flame-colored flowers, which are gladioli, represent the sword. The color reiterates the motif of fire. The key's primary color is deep crimson, which is indicative of blood, and the edges bear a motif of white flowers, which symbolizes death. If you may recall, typical funeral fare was pure white to signify innocence for departed souls.
Well,
Therefore, with everything together, you may infer that this key represents life and death. War. Represents the destruction of war. Fire, swords, blood, death.
yes.
Precisely. It's a chronicle of a specific war, isn't it? Could it be? Probably what you're thinking, yes. You really do love history, don't you? He does. Too much. He even filled his head up with the old language. In all fairness, Uncle, studies in astrology is a family tradition. You studied astrology?
Yes.
Naturally, it's a beautiful language that contains much of our heritage. Much of our heritage. I really feel like this guy grew up in a different world.
You see.
He's basically fluent, unfortunately. I'm not reading that.
Ugh.
I know just enough to understand you, and it's still annoying. Wait, why do you understand astrology?
You don't need to know.
I don't. Not that much. What I know is all because of two people. One of them was this kid.
Oh?
Oh, you don't give yourself enough credit.
Huh?
The show's about to start. You've seen this 100 times. Doesn't make it any less awesome, I get it.
Hey.
Everyone shut up. The play's starting. The lights dimmed, the gentle chatter faded. For a moment, there was only peace. A silence that rested over everything. But in the quiet, in the stillness, there was an underlying thrill of anticipation. The annual pageant was something that every Lunar City citizen had seen dozens of times, and yet, sometimes the oldest stories are the most beloved. One more breath, and then the curtain opened. What played out on that stage was a tale that we all know full well. In a long time ago, before Lunar City was created, before history began, 12 of men rose from the sea. But they were met with a world of fangs and shadow, a world where rabid beasts prowled, where flowers blossomed from venom, where lava boiled in putrid fissures. The land was harsh. Stars rained from the skies and struck the ground with blood. A never-ending sea of ash tainted the horizon. Relentless winds cut into the flesh like knives. Yet the 12 would not admit defeat. On that day, they resolved to tame all of nature and create the birthplace of civilization. The first was shrewd. He knew that the others would take care of everything practical: food, water, shelter. He cared little for the well-being of others or trivial pursuits like altruism. So instead, he thought ahead. To secure his future, he built a storehouse, vast and opulent, something that would be envied in the harsh winters and the plagues. He was given the name of Lumi, the rat. The second, selfless and dependable, worked tirelessly to cultivate the barren soil into rich, fertile ground for planting. From dawn until dusk, she toiled until she was soaked with sweat and blood. She was honored for her willingness to carry out the necessary tasks the others avoided. She was given the name Limisha, the ox. The third was short-tempered and quick to battle. He spent several lifetimes crafting and honing a legendary blade embedded with minerals from the Earth's core. When it was finished, he became the sentinel of the city, defending its borders from the rabid beasts. He was given the name of Liu Gang, the tiger. And to this day, the lost blade of Liu Gang, or Liu Ganje Kil, is widely sought after. The fourth was alert and observant, constantly predicting danger in both the present and the future. She heeded the threat of Earth's fissures, the potential origins of eruptions, poisonous vapor, even unknown creatures from down below. She made it her life mission to seal the chasms, weather with bridges, natural coverings of the bearing beneath layers of rock. She was given the name of Lirin, the rabbit. The fifth, the wisest of them all, disappeared without a trace. He journeyed alone to distant lands, searching for something that would cure the darkness of night. One day he finally returned, and on his shoulders lay the gleaming moon, which pierced through the shadows like a crescent spear. He scaled the heights of the tallest mountain in the Sen Mars range and placed it in the sky. That night and every night thereafter, the moon shone, chasing away the impenetrable dark. He was given the name of Wu Sai, the dragon. For his wisdom and labor, the 12 instated him as their venerable leader. The sixth was the lover of beauty. He saw how beauty could uplift weary souls and cure burdened spirits, so he dedicated himself to crafting delicate treasures and trinkets. Some would bring wonder, others bring hope, others simple amusement. In this way he shared his extraordinary talents. He was given the name of Lucima, the snake. The seventh, who was known to be lively and full of compassion, built the very first school. She constructed a place where children could be educated in history, literature, and mathematics. With her great heart for youth and learning, she single-handedly inspired a movement for knowledge and literacy. Under her watch, education and entertainment were never far apart. She was given the name of Li Koi, the horse. The eighth was passionate and impulsive. Her personality was exactly like the wild, hostile ocean that churned around the island. Through persistence, hard work, and years of frustration, she finally tamed the waters into something usable. It is said that throughout the process she learned much about herself, and that is why water provides a reflection to this day. She was given the name of Lirana, the Ram. The ninth, playful and spirited, was always looking for opportunities to have fun. For his project, he assembled a giant garden of trees, flowers, and shrubbery, a lively, colorful place where families could gather and enjoy themselves. He included swings, mazes, treehouses, anything that a child could ever wish for. He was given the name of Lugogo, the monkey. The 10th loved the morning and was of the morning. She was distraught when she saw the foul quality of the air, so she purified the skies of their dust and ashes. Her hope was that every man could wake up, step outside, take a deep breath, and love the morning just as much as she did. She was given the name of Lichil, the rooster. The 11th was steadfast and loyal. Throughout history, he became the cornerstone of the Zodiacs. He earnestly watched over them, constructing their homes, watching their children, and overseeing their moments of conflict. He dedicated the very essence of his life to them. He was given the name of Ludal, the dog. The 12th, passionate and deeply focused, treated the sick and wounded. She built the first hospital and studied medicine earnestly. She could never be found in the same place. Her feet were always itching, taking her to people begging for doctors and helpers. She became a wanderer and a nomad in her quest to fight death itself. She was given the name Lisalm, the pig. Thousands of years passed, the 12 rulers side by side over Lunar City. As the citadel thrived and grew, they divided Lunar Isle into 4 provinces. Canton Silo, the eastern heart of the island, was a boast to a lively city life. Canton Orbe, the southern peninsula and largest province, was reserved for Earth's society of agriculture. Canton Westex, which lay by beautiful natural fields in the west, led a peaceful village culture. And Canton Arctis, set by mountains of the north, became the home of wealthy socialites. Yet as the citadel continued to grow, the people began to grumble. Why were they ruled by others? Why were they not allowed to rule themselves? They scorned the wisdom of the 12 and demanded a share of the power. So with heavy hearts, 6 of the 12 stepped down, replaced by 6 ordinary citizens elected by popular vote. In this way, the power would be divided between 12 and the citizens themselves. So peace prospered. For heirs, all was calm. But this would not remain. Early one morning, the crier of Canton Arctis woke up to a terrible smell coming from outside his window. The odor was thick, heavy like rotting meat. He looked outside and he saw horror beyond horror. 44 carcasses were piled beneath the sweltering midsummer sun, right in the province square. The corpses, which were already infested with maggots, were impaled by a single sign etched in blood. Judgment of the foolish. Their bodies were dismembered and their heads decapitated cleanly and swiftly, severed by the experienced strike of a blade. The crier alerted the Canton officials immediately. The victims were identified as the families of the 6 elected citizens, those intended to share power with the 12. Panicked, the Canton immediately turned to the Zodiacs, the legendary guardians who had always guided their steps with wisdom and decorum. Why had the 6 mortals of the government been murdered? Who was responsible? Was the entire city in danger? And yet, at the hour of the greatest need, the Zodiacs had vanished. Not one was found. The citadel dissolved into utter chaos. Slowly, doubt and suspicion dragged the people into blind terror. Next of kin, blood brothers, sworn allies, every link, no matter how strongly bound, was tested and broken. Riots rose and fell as quickly as the sun. Everyone became paranoid for his own life, driven by hallucinations into insanity. The cobblestone streets were bathed in rivers of blood and metal. And just like this, society disintegrated into anarchy. To hide their madness, the people began to fashion masks in macabre description of the 12. The twisted and leer of the rat, the bloodthirsty vengeance of the tiger, the uninhabited lunacy of the rooster, every one of their past heroes was mutilated in a celebration of porcelain and wood. With their identities safeguarded, the mass shamelessly killed all in their path, striking like bandits. There was no rhyme or reason to the slaughter. All that was left in society was a desire for power and dominance. For years, the city fell to pieces. truth was forever lost as the orderly was slain and the records caught fire. The past faded into ashes, burned in despair. And then a single thread snapped. The chaos stopped. Lunar City has shredded itself to an irreparable state. It can no longer sustain the sheer violence that the war demanded. No structure remained to be destroyed. No soul remained to be slain. No fortune remained to be pillaged. The few survivors of mankind were forced to band together to ensure their survival, ending the bloodbath known as the Zodiac War. Slowly, stone by stone, they rebuilt the Alien City back to its former glory. Slowly, person by person, they refashioned a new government led by a 12-member executive cabinet. Slowly, year by year, they repopulated the broken cantons and added one to their number, Canton Celesti, the canton of the government. Now, as we flourish and continuously rebuild, we await the return of our sentinels. Thank you. I thought I read that pretty well myself.
Wowie!
That was so gorgeous. No wonder season theater's so expensive. The music was well done. Live orchestras are rare.
Right?
It was like history came to life right before my eyes. History. Don't fool yourself, Iron Fest. It's a legend. Fiction.
Maybe.
Yeah, but did you see those costumes and the set design? I bet that when the actors are on stage, they feel like they've just time traveled. Not likely. Do Hall and Zach not get along?
Well...
Hey, I bet that they had a great time either way, right, Twitchy? Or maybe they're just trying to remember their lines.
Oh?
Really?
Nah.
Probably not. They're pros after all.
Hey!
Well, dumb ones and I still young. What do you say we pop over to Season Tower and have ourselves a little dance? I'm game.
Yeah.
Have fun. Gramps, come on. Why, there's no reason to go to Season Tower.
No way!
You've never gone to Season Tower? What kind of law-abiding citizen are you?
What?
Going to Season Tower is a vital part of Founders Day. What for? To get a good look charm for the new year? To wait in line with bawling kids and pushy salesmen? To hear the same legends over 1,000 times?
Halton.
To remember our beginnings, Halton. As if those are even... Never mind. He was definitely looking at me when he cut himself off. What is he hiding?
Uncle.
Do come with us. A night like this is very rare. Only comes once every 365 days. You'd be missing out. I mean, every day comes only once every 365 days. Not quite, Miss Allison. A night like this is far more scarce than 365 days. Are you reading my mind? Never mind. Founders Day is every year.
Yes.
Okay, something's definitely fishy. Hold up, honey bumpkins. You're all missing the best part. The Lunar Waltz. Remember how fun it was, Pip? What the hell's Pip? He's Pip, apparently. Where did these nicknames come from? It was the very first time of the year we actually managed to get Twitchy to dance with us. We can't drop that now, it's Graham's turn.
Hey.
You're never getting me to dance. Wait, that means... Guys, Gramps is actually coming. He won't dance, but he's coming. I never said. Lunar Waltz, we're headed right for you.
Thank you.
You don't want to go, but he's gonna go. Ooh. Here's the aesthetic of Founders Day. A long string of booths planted down both sides of Season Way, piled with flowery lights, diverse wares, and colorful signage. A seemingly endless line leading to the entrance of Season Tower, flanked by stanchions, whatever those are. Probably flowers of some sort. Clumps of people in traditional livery, boasting masks representing the 12. Everywhere you look, there was something delicious cooking, or something exciting taking place, or something beautiful being made. That was the joy of Founders Day.
Wowie!
Look at all these masks. Ancient allegiance at its finest. It's probably not that deep.
Yeah.
Look how many people are wearing dragon masks. Everyone just wants to look cool. Really? I don't think that's always the case. Back in my college, my hall would go to the festivals with our Lee Koi masks. We were like a clan. We stuck together, had secret handshakes and everything. One horse wouldn't leave another horse behind.
Oh.
That's because you're a big nerd. Well, yeah. I do think that people will find a special connection when they see us with the same mask.
Yep.
Yeah, all dragons tend to be narcissistic. The ones who pick dragon masks are usually kids with delusions of grandeur.
Maybe.
That's fair, but it's still a trend. Alison, which Zodiac do you think has the best reputation?
Well,
Dogs, of course. They're known to be particularly loyal and civil.
Pip.
No one can beat the pigs. Every pig I've run into has been such a sweetheart. I think it's because you need to be humble and wear a pig mask.
Oh, really?
You're both wrong. Snakes are the only people who come close to being tolerable. They actually think, which is more than what most people can say. But snakes are mean and stingy. Hey, Twitch, back me up. I like dragon masks. Twitch has delusions of grandeur. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Are any of you named Alison? Why are you answering for her? Alison, what do you think? Aw, I don't get to pick mine. Well, I like Halt, so we're gonna go Snake on this one. I like intelligent people. Yeah, what's wrong? What's not to like? Good choice. You really shouldn't skip the study with leading questions, Halton. What was the question for?
well,
Well, on the internet, they say that a person's answer to that question decides how many people they'll end up dating. For example, someone who only picks dog will be dedicated to one person in their entire life. But someone who picks pig is more likely to be a player because they don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Is this a social question? I didn't know you were into things like that.
Zax.
Zax quite enjoys popular culture, particularly that which is aimed at preteen girls. Personality quizzes, popularity polls, social questions, tabloids.
Yeah.
Anything wildly inaccurate. Wow, guys, what a flattering picture he paints. I don't even really like tabloids. It's just necessary for us to be in the know. Like, for example, now we know that Alison will be sly, easily jealous, and very good at flirting. Zax?
Huh?
Yes? It's like planning the course of your life around a clickbait article. I'm joking. Wait, does this mean that I'm a player? This is grim news indeed.
Twitch.
We're off to cure my ills. Look, everyone, into the season tower line. We need the winter waltz. What does the winter waltz have to do with being a player?
Well?
I only dance with one person, of course. Defiance of fate. I don't think you can take it that seriously. It's just a social question. Pretty sure that she just wants to get in on it. The line to Season Tower is unique. Apparently some people travel entire canyons just to wait in it for the authentic festival experience. Now, I've never understood it, but then again, I never thought there was anything special. It's very, very long. It's flanked by booths that keep the attentions and wallets of impatient citizens. Most adjacent strangers end up talking to each other because there's, well, little else to do in a 3-hour wait. Usually the line only forms on Founders Day because Founders Day is the only time where the Winter Waltz is held inside Season Tower. Later line would form for a very different reason. Not that it matters, for now.
Hey!
This is definitely my favorite part of Founders Day. Waiting in line. Line shopping. We can look at all these cool booths. But everything's always crazy overpriced.
Pip.
You should get something for the office. I know how much you like ancient trinkets.
Well,
I'm not sure. Too pricey?
no.
I was gonna say inauthentic, but yes, that as well. Inauthenticity? Is he saying that all the stuff in his office are bona fide ancient artifacts? Well, that's impossible. Anything that survived from before the Zodiac War was claimed as government property and moved to museums. You can't just keep stuff like that in the back room of a diner, can you? Interesting. Wait, what do you mean by inauthentic?
I thought...
They're mass-produced for public consumption. Consequently, there is neither story nor lineage to them. Right. So you're in possession of legitimate historical antiquities.
Isn't it normal?
No, it's not.
However...
They're simply family heirlooms. Most of the swords aren't even sharp anymore. Most of them. Okay, time to switch perspectives. What if your office was burglarized? It's not exactly high security, not compared to a museum. Well, then that would be a very unfortunate day for the burglar. Is no one else concerned about this man? A mask stand. Crayon Dumb, I have a mask to buy. You're buying a mask? She buys one every year. Every year?
Right.
For me, it's not just a costume piece. That sounds weird, but whenever I look at a mask from a certain year, I feel like it's absorbed all the memories from that year. It actually feels very special. That's why I buy a new one every year. My obligatory annual mask purchase. That's pretty cool. That is actually pretty cool.
Really?
I think more people should do it. Let's see, last time I got a whole mask. Maybe half mask this year? What do you think I should get, Allison? Me? Isn't that your choice of ancient allegiance?
No.
Nah. I bought so many that it's more like art to me. Just pick the prettiest one and the one with the most personality. And is it really okay for me to choose it? Sounds like a significant decision. I want you to. Call it an artist's intuition, but I have this weird feeling that you're going to become really important to all of us. I hope she never finds out I'm a journalist. She's too sweet to deserve this. Rabbit. It feels very elegant and delicate.
Oh.
Rabbits are known to be very beautiful creatures. I'm very beautiful in real life, I'll have you know. Why the rabbit? There's something wrong with the rabbit? You got a problem with the rabbit?
Well...
I mean, you know, there's 12 of them, so why the rabbit out of all the others? Why not the rabbit? I know, right? It's just a mess. After all, silly me. Rabbit it is, darling honey nugget. Excuse me, ma'am, you've got a buyer. I wish I didn't snoop around these people. They all seem so nice. Well, I mean, most of them. Even the prickly ones clearly care for their friends.
Little human.
A few minutes of your time. Oh, this is the guy that I saw in the image for the title of the game. Little human. That's unusual. Me?
Yes.
You. This unusual man was standing behind a lively booth. Well, sort of lively, but it had bright colors and beautiful ribbons and everything. Expected of a lively booth. I mean, the guy was very dressed up. But there was one thing that made it unusual. It was completely empty. There was no merchandise. There was no signage, no price tags, not even a tip box. The counter was bare, and he was leaning idly against it, examining his fingernails like they were the most interesting anatomical feature in the world. Simply put, the booth shouldn't have been empty. It took time to nab one, and money, lots and lots of money. The line to the Winter Waltz was known to be a highly contested business opportunity for vendors, so season weight permits were only made available the day before Founders Day. And it was competitive. Aspiring business owners would camp on the steps of the Civil Center and swarm the entrance on opening day. There were horror stories of extortion, bribery, and even paying hitmen to lessen the competition. So who on earth would spend ridiculous resources to secure a booth, only to do nothing with it? Oh, I'm not interested in buying anything, sorry. And just as well, I'm not interested in selling anything. Then, no offense, but why are you talking with me?
Well,
It's not every day you meet an undercover journalist. Shut up, man. Keep it on the down low. I got people here who don't know that. This was where I realized that something was terribly, terribly wrong. This is where I realized that I might have just gotten way over my head. And a sum of little cues all jammed together created a very ominous picture. Little human, mask of a cat, undercover journalist, an empty booth. Should I have listened to my instincts of self-preservation and bolted away from that place, dropping the job and damning the consequences? Well, maybe things would have been very, very different. Or maybe they would have been the same. Who are you, and how do we know each other? You may call me the cat. And we don't know each other.
oh?
Why are you surprised? You oughtn't be. My superpower is telepathy. Superpower, telepathy. You don't believe me. Even after I showed you a first-hand display. It wasn't any kind of display. I wasn't thinking anything about being a journalist.
Oh, child.
You'd be surprised at everything humans think that they don't think they think. That's a very convoluted sentence. Oh good, I was worried that I was losing my touch. He keeps talking about humans. But maybe I shouldn't read too much into this. People always get weird around this time of year. How do you know who I am?
I wonder.
I know everything. No one knows everything. Not true. I do. If you really did, then why are you operating a street booth?
Huh?
This humble little booth of mine? Why, that is for me to know, and for you to eternally wonder. What's the point of setting up a booth if you don't plan on using it?
Well.
But I am using it, little human. Right, empty stall, no wares, no decor. This guy is weird. Well, then what do you want? Or did you start talking with me just to make idle conversation?
Precisely.
Exactly that. I quite enjoy idle conversation.
Little human.
What do you think of the weather? It's fine, I guess.
Really?
Is that so? How curious. It seemed rather ominous to me. There's not a cloud in the sky. I can't imagine rain would be coming anytime soon. No, not rain. Fire. I want to laugh. I tried to do it. I really did. To open my mouth, to heave my diaphragm, shape the syllables. I went something like ha ha ha. Nothing came out. The sound dried up in my throat illogically, like my subconscious knew something that my mind refused to accept. All my inborn alarm bells were clamoring for escape. Run from this creep, this psycho, this oddball who went through all the trouble of buying a boot spot on the most crowded holiday of the year. And all for what? To get to me, of course. Or maybe I say, instead, to get through me. I pressed myself further into the line, pushing distance between me and the terrifying stranger. But through the commotion, the festivities, the celebration in the air, I heard the final tendrils of his voice. Oh, little human, don't run. I might have to chase you. A human is full of secrets. A cat finds them all. Alison? I came to my senses in the middle of the street. The crowd was bustling around me, a sluggish river full of muffled noises and blurry light. Then I realized that Leaf was holding my wrist with a loose grip, peering at my face. I instinctively jerked away.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm fine. You didn't look fine. You were crouching at the side of the road, like you were about to throw up. I was? Yes. That doesn't make sense. It was just a weird encounter. There's no reason for me to feel sick. You felt sick after meeting someone? Yeah, I guess. A stranger. Who? Some random booth attendant, I think.
Hey.
It just takes 1/10 of a second to make a first impression. Posture, style, speech, expression, everything is a cue. Maybe this particular person raised a lot of dangerous signs. Oh, maybe. He was definitely creepy, I'll give him that. But first impressions are usually wrong. Because of the fundamental attribution error. The what? It's a cognitive bias.
Here's the thing.
Let's say that I fainted right here, right now. Let's say that you had to drive me to the hospital or I'd die. Because the situation was urgent, you'd speed down every road and you'd even run red lights. Now you might think, I'm not normally a reckless driver. I'm just trying to save a life. You know your circumstances, so you don't judge yourself. But if you see someone else speeding and running reds, you judge their character, not their circumstances. You think they were reckless or angry or just moronic. Why? Well, because you don't know their internal circumstances. You only know yours. That's the fundamental attribution error. And it's why a lot of first impressions are incorrect. We have incomplete knowledge of other situations, so we jump to conclusions. So, you're saying my first impression of him was definitely wrong?
No.
Well, not necessarily. Your first impression isn't complete. All first impressions are. But it could go either way. Maybe this stranger is fine. Or maybe he's 10 times as psychotic as you think he is. Right. Wait, I didn't say anything about him being psychotic.
Well,
it was just a guess. People feel sick when they're in immediate danger. That tends to be limited to perverts and psychos. All perverts have better places to be on Founders Day than operating a line booth. Should I be worried about you?
no.
Just worry for yourself. Come on, we're in the next group for the dance. That was weird. I managed to push off the encounter as nothing but an abnormality of Founders Day. People got drunk, high, made impulsive decisions, wore masks, acted like completely different people. All for fun. The cat had to be one such person. Had to be. Season Tower was considered in a way to be the birthplace of Lunar City. It was, this is from the beginning. It was a monument created to honor the 12 Zodiacs. Of course, that couldn't actually be true because practically everything before the Zodiac War had been destroyed. In actuality, Season Tower was created during the rebuilding after the war. It was meant to be a reminder and a warning for future generations to not be foolish and divisive. But over time, it turned into something more like a tourist attraction. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lunar Waltz. When the music has concluded, please exit through the doors on your right.
Oh.
Yeah, this is not like a well-oiled machine. If Mars were here, she'd approve of how smoothly everything's run.
Well...
If Mars were here, I think she'd just be scolding us for wasting our time in frivolous pursuits like dancing.
Maybe.
Maybe not. Dances and other highbrow social events are important for business networking.
Yes.
Marin may consider it rather lucrative, in fact. Marin Teller, the one absentee. But she did set all this up, so... Or at least bought all the tickets and stuff for the play. Ladies and gentlemen, the winter waltz shall now commence. That's our cue. Let's go.
Jules!
Ah,
I see a cousin of mine. If you don't mind, I'd be off.
Yep.
And I'm going to take a look at the exhibits. Suppose that I can't possibly get you to dance.
No.
Oh. And I suppose that your agenda encompasses you soaking in a corner for the whole time. Dancing wouldn't make it any better. You waited in line for such a long time. I mean, don't you think that you might as well make something out of this? No. These aren't my type of dances. Oh, you don't know how to do the waltz? That's okay. I don't. You have a type?
Maybe.
Martial arts fusions isn't bad. You've done martial arts fusion before?
Had a job once.
You've had a lot of jobs. That wasn't on the files, as usual.
Hey,
Yes?
look.
How did you meet all of us within a week of each other? And none of them were casual encounters. You quickly became pretty memorable. Crap, I figured that someone would notice at some point, but even so. I think I can do this point but feign ignorance. All of who? Never mind. You don't seem like a bad kid. And half of it was probably our fault anyway. Feels like he's talking to himself more than me. Halt?
Kid.
You should go dance. Make tonight a night to remember. Drink or do whatever kids do these days. How encouraging. Guess I'll just take his advice. Founders Day is the best holiday of the year and be ashamed to just kind of ignore it, you know?
Oh.
What a pleasant surprise. It's Catman.
I wonder.
What do they say in times like these? Long time no see. How did you get inside? The doors are the only... I thought... Little human, I can assure you I am a perfectly law-abiding citizen. I was right behind you, didn't you notice? Well, perhaps it was more like 10 persons behind you, but nonetheless. But your booth...
Ah.
Well, I have better avenues to sell merchandise anyway. Would you care for a dance? I'd care very much not to have one.
Oh.
Just as well, I hate dancing. In the literal sense, of course. What's that supposed to mean?
Naturally.
An intellectual dance with you would be delightful, little human. You may not know the steps, but oh, are you a natural? Can't you just leave me alone? If you keep this up, I may have to call for a restraining order. Bravo, your first step. Now it is my turn. Look forward to my move, little human. It won't be long. Wait. Actually, it's good if he leaves, isn't it? But it's so ambiguous. That's fine.
Alison?
What? Oh god, it's just you. Hold on, Edge, I'm sorry.
You okay?
I think I might have a stalker.
Huh?
Stalker. I know this time of year is always strange, but this guy who I've never met before is following me around. Maybe you find yourself an admirer. If only. I think he made a threat. He mentioned the fire was in the weather forecast. I mean, who'd do that unless it was a threat, right?
Well...
A literature major. Fire forecast could be a metaphor for his burning passion for you. I'm pretty sure it has nothing to do with metaphors and that he's not a literature major. But, that'll be fine. I probably won't see him again after tonight. Why are you dancing? Don't you enjoy it?
Nah.
Not with strangers. Or is this your way of offering?
Hey.
You finally smiled. I'm glad. You've been looking stressed all night. Really?
Yeah.
Unless that's your resting face. I don't even know how to answer that question. An insult if it's your resting face and a compliment if it's not. Zach. Aw. It's over. Please exit to the doors on your right.
Oh.
Guess that means we should go. Damn it. I really want to halt to dance. I left that party having talked with 3 people. Someone I met was most certain not an admirer, someone who had an old soul, and a psycho. Who was who and which was which? Well, that's the part in question. That was so refreshing. Nothing like a little exercise to get the creative juices flowing. Oh, come to think of it. You and Leaf go hiking, right? Does it help you write songs? Being out in nature always does help, but hiking also serves another purpose. It's important to keep healthy, Pumpkin. Healthy and strong. For what?
Oh.
Not spending the rest of your life in a hospital? Helping people. You never know when others might need the gift you were born with. That's why I like hiking and running. But not push-ups. Oh, I mean, I'll do them, but I don't know anyone like push-ups.
I don't know.
Pretty sure that most people don't. You definitely do not. I wonder whose fault that is.
Oh?
It was a bet, cousin, one fair and square. I still maintain that you and B totally conned me. Cousin? Is that like literal, figurative? This way I might need to draw a relationship chart. You and Beckett are related?
Right.
Might as well be, to be honest.
You see,
There's no blood relation, but we are family. How did that end up happening?
that's a bit,
You know,
We were in the same college frat. I was a big history nerd, and since this guy was walking around with a legitimate sword...
cousin?
Don't tell the poor woman blatant lies, cousin. Comes a habit that's not easy to cure. Come on, the idea of you being a college frat is hilarious.
Even so.
Not true. Come on, why are you the one who gets to tease people?
Naturally.
I'm older. You're not that much older. I'm still older. This guy. Okay. Truth is, Allison, our families knew each other since before we were born. Becca was never in a college frat or went to college at all. Families knew each other? So Beckett and Zach were childhood friends, and Beckett and Leaf were also apparently childhood friends, I think. Then does that make Leaf and Zach childhood friends by association? They don't seem that close. I don't understand these dynamics. Hey, you don't need to look that surprised that he's a degreeless commoner. He was homeschooled, so it's not like he isn't educated. Though sometimes I do wonder. Ow. Joke, cuz. It's a joke. My hand slipped. Seems lively over
Uncle.
here. Just a bit of chatting. Where's July and Leaf?
July?
Ran off. Said something like, Eureka, bye-bye, dear cherry blossoms. My muse calls for me. Leaf didn't want her walking out night by herself, so he went with her.
Oh.
Good man.
Huh.
Think how much trouble Jules would get into if she did all her shenanigans alone. It's a good thing she has us to cover for her.
Perhaps.
But she's also the strongest of spirits. She strengthens ours. It's getting late. I should return to my family's gathering.
Oh.
It's a bit of a drive.
Yes?
But it wouldn't do for me to miss the celebration entirely. Thank you for the pleasant evening, Miss Allison. It was lovely to see everyone again. Hey, but I thought they were all close friends.
Well,
That doesn't make any sense. Happy Founders Day. Drive safe, cuz. Don't get a ticket.
Yeah.
I saw that loser. You guys seem to get along.
Yep.
Well, living in the same house for 6 years will do that to you. Either way, you get along or you get evicted, you know? Same house.
Yeah.
I went to live with his family for a while. 6 years? For what, I wonder? Studying for a degree?
Hey.
I should probably pop out, too. But thanks, Allison. I had a great time. We should hang out again. Favor or no favor? Sure thing. So, what about you? What's your story? I assume you're also heading out?
Maybe.
Dangerous for a kid to walk around alone. She could set something on fire. A very prickly way of offering your company, do you know that?
Well,
Because I'm not offering you my company. I'm performing a civic duty by keeping shelter from accidental terrorism. Okay, now you're just being difficult. My apartment's on the bus route. I'm pretty sure that I won't say anything on fire on the way. Take care of yourself, kid. The only thing more dangerous than looking for trouble is not recognizing it when it comes. Are you saying that I'm in danger?
get used to it.
I'm saying that you should be careful. In this world, you're the only person who can look out for yourself. Well, this guy's just a fountain of old man quotes, isn't he? But at least he does seem genuinely concerned. Goodbye, kid. Keep your eyes open. Weird. And that was the conclusion to the eventful Founders Day. Is what I like to say, but it's also false. In a way, I wish that I could just ignore what happened afterward. I wish that I had gone to bed without writing a single word. But as the saying goes, if wishes were fishes, we'd all swim in riches. But really, wouldn't we just be swimming with the fishes? So peaceful and quiet compared to Season Way. Hang on. What's that smell? Is that smoke? Oh god. It was indeed smoke. Lots of smoke. The neighboring apartment complex just down the block, while a sizable chunk of it, at least, was ablaze. The place was hedged by fire engines and a cacophony of wailing sirens. I could make out a swarm of figures, firemen and policemen and EMTs and lawyers and insurance representatives.
Wait!
My daughter's inside. Someone save her. Sir, please remain here. We'll recover as quickly as possible. Someone stop those sirens. Sane folk are trying to get some sleep. Oh, I'm sorry. House is burning down here.
Aye.
If you sign up for our coverage, your losses in this unfortunate incident will be greatly reduced. Struck in a trance, I could only do what my instincts offered. I extracted my camera from its bag, and that was when I caught a glimpse of a figure who bounded out of the window. He flew like a crane, clothes rippling around his lanky figure. Slung over his shoulder was a person with flecks of ash and soot embedded in their hair, clothes, and skin. Despite the heavy burden, he landed effortlessly. He unceremoniously dumped the body on the turf, pressing the tips of his fingers lightly to his civilian's neck. After a moment, he nodded, satisfied, and stood. A bustling officer stopped next to him, his hands clamped on a walkie-talkie. Is that a citizen you're carrying, sir?
Let's go.
There are 3 more who require aid. Who are you? Are you authorized to do this? Humans, so concerned with trivialities. Very well. If you shall not endeavor to save them, then I will.
Stop!
And back in he went. I'll never forget how I felt in that moment. Watching a man who I only regarded as a creep and a psycho disappear into the jaws of fire. The image of a single silhouette being consumed by a crashing wave of red, it was powerful enough to stay with me for weeks. In that brief moment, a malefactor became a martyr. Even from my safe distance, I felt the press of the furious heat against my skin. It didn't stop me from clicking the shutter frantically, capturing every flame I possibly could. The cat diving through the open air with all the grace of a swan. The line of fire engines blocking the side of the street. The mob of people, some crying, some silent, most staring wide-eyed at their crumbling home. Some journalists might have been thrilled. Given their contagious nature, fires could make headlines, especially if the casualty count was high. But the stench of smoke was thick in the air, an iron wall coating the back of my throat, making my lungs feel scratchy. The wail of sirens was oppressive, corkscrewing sharply into the center of my skull. I thought of the victims scattered down the sidewalk, watching their possessions and livelihoods burn to dust, and praying desperately for the safety of their loved ones, experiencing tragedy on what should have been the happiest day of the year. Abashed, I lowered my camera, inching around the complex to the back side. Here was quieter, no insurance representatives, no law enforcement, no first responders. The figure of the cat flickered occasionally in the windows, a brief form that was sometimes dispersed with smoke. My angle was hardly ideal, blocked by debris, furniture, and pillars, but there seemed to be light coming from the building. I cautiously inched closer, raising my camera to peer through the zoom lens. Thin pricks of colored beams which represented LED lights shot faintly through the smoke. They moved with the cat's limbs, as if affixed to the equipment on his arms and legs. I was broken out of my trance by a terrifying, convulsing groan above me. I stumbled back, looking frantically for the source. The upper floor was gripped by an explosion. Debris rocketed out of the windows, pinwheeling right towards my skull. But something abruptly pulled me out of the way. No, not something. Someone. Framed by ashes and haloed by dying specks of fire, a man smirked lightly at me from beneath a tiny fedora. His shoulders were rolled back, relaxed, almost as if he was taking a leisurely stroll, not standing next to a residential catastrophe. I was frozen in place. The gears in my head had completely stopped, confronted with the sudden possibility of death. Has anyone ever told you not to play with fire? I'll take that as a no. I almost died. You tried your damnedest, but you didn't. Because you saved me. Why? Do you have such a low opinion of the common man? Sorry to disappoint, but I'm not in the habit of letting innocent little girls get burned alive or squashed by metal pipes. Is it a habit of yours to be unaware of your surroundings? His smooth jab recovered some of my senses. Attacks on human pride often do. Is it a habit of yours to carry a lighter with sooty fingers? Oh, I see. You suspect that I'm the person who started this fire. Am I wrong? Would I tell you if you weren't? we're at Season Theater. I saw you. You were looking in my direction.
Maybe.
The broad general direction where 100 people were standing, yes. So you remember me. Cute girl staring at me, not easy to forget. Can't fault me for that one, can you?
Ah,
You know what? We should probably exit the premises. There's better places to engage in pleasantries than a burning building. So he led me away from the chaos and back into the quiet residential streets.
well?
You're already looking better. How did it feel to have a foot through death's door? That's jarring, huh? I'm trying to figure out whether you're trustworthy or not. You saved my life, I'm thankful for that. But I also saw you in Season Theater and you were carrying a lighter right next to an apartment that's on fire.
Huh?
The lighter? You know, I'm a little disappointed. I thought you'd be more of the clever sort. What?
Really?
If I really did commit this arson, as you so delicately imply, why would I carry the lighter in plain sight? Or why would I have saved you? Lapse of judgment. Then why would I lie to remain alive after uncovering my true identity? Continued lapse of judgment? You're an interesting woman, milady. Oh my god. Well, I admit that it's unlikely, but then why are you carrying a lighter in the first place? Right. Well, perhaps I wanted to smoke. I don't think I can buy that.
Exactly.
Then don't. You should be relaxing, my lady. What you need right now isn't witty repartee. You need a shock blanket and a mug of cocoa. What a patronizing tone. I don't live in that apartment, if that's what you mean. You nearly died. That's enough to rattle anybody. Is he showing concern? You can't really tell past all these mind games. If you're carrying the lighter, you know something about the fire, don't you? I fail to see how that relates to the topic at hand. Besides, I'm technically not carrying it. I just happen to be carrying a plastic bag with a lighter in it. But it sounds like you know something. Shouldn't you talk to the police? If you provide a witness testimony, you'll be helping a lot of people.
Aww.
Poorly disguised request, my lady. I know that you think I'm responsible. Well, if you're innocent, then there shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah?
Shouldn't there? Sadly, life is not so cut and dried. Talking to the police might be a little complicated. Right? And how am I supposed to take that?
Hey,
Go ahead. Huh?
look.
You want to report me, don't you? Might as well do it now. If you call it too late, they might lose me. I can't read him, not one bit. Why are you making fun of me?
Milady?
I'm being sincere. I don't believe that.
Oh.
What a coincidence, neither do I. Okay, let's think about it this way. There are victims of that fire. Even if they're physically untouched, precious memories and possessions have been burned away. You really seem to know something. Can't you help them out just by giving your testimony? You're quite a moving person when you try, aren't you, milady? Not moving enough if it doesn't make you say yes.
Look.
Unfortunately, I don't know a thing about the fire. Why didn't you say so in the first place?
Huh.
Interesting. What is? You actually expect me to answer you? Pardon me, milady, but what do I owe you? Nothing.
Well.
To be fair, it doesn't really matter either way. I don't know anything about the fire, aside from the fact that it exists. That's not what I'm here for. Then what are you here for? Would you believe me if I said afternoon tea? Since it's not afternoon, no. Then I suppose you'll have to remain unsatisfied. My apologies. For a moment we fell silent, our non-stop give and take, back and forth, parry, riposte, gently sifted into something a little darker, a little deeper, and a little more human. Doubt. Suspicion is one thing, because, well, when you're suspicious of something, you don't always have a connection to it. But doubt, you can only doubt something you want to trust. You can only doubt something in which you hope for the best.
Milady?
Oh, I think I've taken up enough of your time. Evening, my lady. Wait. Thank you for saving my life. You're welcome. That's it. I felt normal. Gentle. What should I call you? You can call me Dexter, my lady. That your real name? Now, why would I give my real name to a stranger? Especially a stranger who's a journalist. What? Man, what is a poorly kept secret? This is the second time today that a stranger mysteriously knew about me. Couldn't be that he just guessed, could it? Do we know each other?
No.
Then how... Wait. Asking if we know each other implies that our connection is a two-way street. In other words, not only does he have to know me, but I have to know him. Maybe, just maybe I need to change my question. Then, do you know me? If you can call it that.
Milady?
Stay safe around here. That was the first time I met Dexter. Or so I thought. Meeting strangers is always such an interesting thing. You think about it, you could be running into the same people for your entire life and you never even realize it. Of course, you're checking out your items could have been once boarded the same train as you. The camper on the other side of the mountain could have once fulfilled your prescription. The substitute teacher, the janitor, the gardener, the real estate agent. Sometimes you meet once in a lifetime, sometimes twice, sometimes many times. So much happened today. My mind is a blur. I have so many questions on the Zodiacs, on the cat, on Dexter, but I doubt that those questions will have any answers. Well, first things first, I have a job, and that job demands articles be written. Considering that the cat was at the huge fire, maybe I should write something to center around him. He ran into that fire like it was nothing. He ignored smoke inhalation, heat, exhaustion, even structural dangers of burning building. It's weird to admit it, but it definitely didn't seem human. Well, even if it's explainable, I'm sure the Pathfinder will be happy if I frame it in the context of something supernatural. Maybe I can claim that this cat is a Zodiac in disguise. Time for a lot of late night calls. Response to sudden fire that consumed Cedar Villa apartment homes on Marin Avenue. Unidentified figure rescued 3 individuals before first responders set foot. He proceeded to rescue 3 more despite the building's evident structural compromise. The fire, which reportedly began about 9:20 p.m., was successfully battled within 4 hours. Investigators are currently determining its cause. It's Founders Day, said Fire Chief Marco Scott. Could be alcohol, candles, sparklers, since there's no evidence of gas problems or arson. We're expecting an incident caused by too much drinking and not enough common sense. The unidentified rescuer vacated the scene as soon as the residents of the apartments were cleared. His identity is... still pending investigation. We'll frame it a little bit better later on. Kathy Mintz, a resident at Cedar Villa and victim of the fire, personally witnessed the extent of the rescuer's abilities. He, totally ignored the fire. It was crazy hot in there, and the smoke saints. It was impossible to breathe. I have no clue how he did it, but hey, he saved people, so I guess it doesn't really matter, am I right? Wallace Kahn, another resident, captured several seconds of the rescuer through an open window. In the video, the rescuer catches a falling beam with gloved hands and hoists it back up. The video is speculated to be evidence of supernatural abilities. The rescuer stated to have been wearing a cat mask and dark blue key salon. Now for the title. Oh. The second sighting. Could this be Zodiac? Mass superhero quenches raging arson? I like that. Yeah, we gotta go with that one. The 12 are back. Mass superhero quenches raging arson. Get the exclusive scoop. That maybe it's a little too much. Oh well. I've already written it. Time to get some sleep. It's like 2:30 in the morning for me. It's really time to get some sleep. But I got to finish the game. Please be over. It's not over. Never over. This video's gotta be cut up. I'm sorry. It's gotta be cut up. I don't know where I'm gonna cut it. It's not gonna be here, but it's gonna be one of... God, who's calling me at this ungodly hour of the morning? Hello? Tobos Hayes. What? So tired. What time is it? Are you not listening? What are you talking about? Your article, Miss Hart. It's fit to burst. My article? Your article. We must answer the readers at once. Head to that diner, Miss Hart. What? My article? I have to check this. Supernation on top of their game. They got the news on the fire out faster than the Celeste Broadcasting Company. Props. This is for real? There's no cat in the Zodiac, is there? That's true, there is no cat in the Zodiac. It's another vigilante, just like the sighting. Arms, guys. What if it's real? What if the 12 are back? Did anyone check the video? It looked like his arms were glowing. Wait, what? It really blew up? How? Listen! Go to this diner this very instant. I require answers. Now it's 5 in the morning. The diner's not even open. I've only slept 2 hours. Yes, now, if it's such an issue, I'm certain the overtime pay will suffice. Overtime pay? Gets to get up and go. God damn it. I'm so fucking tired. I can barely see straight. Where's the door? Oh, here it is. Oh, I didn't know the diner was still open. Or is it that opens early? Well, boss says go, so go. Mine was not to reason why. Mine was but to do, and... Table for one plate. What the fuck? Ooh, I like this tune. This is the part where I rub my eyes and rub them again. Weapons that look like they were forged of light and smoke and uncovered from storybooks. I didn't know what to do. They're so
You
beautiful.
fool!
Sits alive, Harvest. Did you not lock the door?
Ah!
I was been occupied at the moment, if you remember. With, you know, bringing the news in the first place.
Now.
No time to argue. That was when Beckett's eyes fixed on mine, deep and piercing, paralyzing every bone in my body. That was when I realized I had made a terrible, terrible mistake. Like lightning. No, like the northern sea, ancient and sorrowful and frigid to the touch. He flew across the floor, snapping his empty hand forward. Before I could blink, a shining mist crackled around his hand and whipped up his arm, and solidified into a blade that rested against my throat. Cold. That's all my mind registered. The sword was deathly cold, to the point where I was convinced the weapon was made of ice. What? Apologies, Miss Allison. I hate to draw my blade against an unarmed woman, but I'm afraid we can't let you leave. This is madness. Absolute madness. Glowing eyes, weapons forged from light, an indescribable aura of power crackling in the air. Why, it was all the makings of a legend. That was great. I love that game. Holy crap. Oh my god. I cannot wait for this game to finish. I want to play this game from beginning to end like several times. Hope you feel the same way, because that demo was like 3 hours long. So this is going to be cut up. Obviously you're going to know this because this will be the second part of the video. But yeah, that was amazing. I'm going to link all in the description, all the good stuff for you to follow them, and make sure you keep tabs on this game, because holy crap. This game had a lot of production value for an indie title, and I'm really impressed. And with that said, I will see you all next time, and have a good day.